This is Devious Dave Rose, professional pariah and all around asshole. And you are tuned in to the greatest, defending, undisputed video game collector on the planet. Casey is Raw.
The following announcement has been paid for by Casey is Raw. Where am I? Hold on. I don't know why. Give me a second, guys. I think, yeah, that's what happened. Welcome, guys. My name is Casey is Raw. Welcome to Saturday is Raw episode. If you guys can tell, my voice is a little hoarse today. I'm pretty much over bronchitis, but right now I kind of got like laryngitis, I guess. I mean, so my voice is not great. I'll have some people coming in, hopefully. So today we're going to be talking about the future of gaming. That's why we had that screenshot right there. I want to make sure, yeah, my backdrop is right. So, let's see, we got tour capture in the chat. Where is my Xbox 360 spec tops? The line game. Find me every game possible to find. What up, Bam? Where's all the games you bought today? Actually, I only bought 3 games today. I was planning to get more, but I was like, apparently when these vintage stocks are having their sale, that they're well, people apparently go out and buy everything that I wanted. So I mean, I only got a few things from it. Let me remove this picture so you can see me. So hopefully my audio is fine. So yeah, I want to talk about the future of gaming. Xbox. People really think Xbox was going out of the hardware business, and that finding out that's not true. But they are going to have some games going to be cross-platform. So honestly, and then people are freaking out because Sony says PlayStation 5 has entered their later stages of the console. And just like Adam Korlick said, I mean, you got to remember it's only, I mean, PS5 came out in 2020. We're in 2024. That's 4 years. A lot of times consoles are uh, only last about 5 years. It's only in the modern times they went like since the Xbox 360 era slash PS3 era is that the generation's a little longer. Um, Same thing with, I mean, with the Xbox One to PS4. I mean, Xbox One and PS4 came in 2013, and then 7 years later they have their um, replacements. So so I mean, it sucks. I just got my PS5 this previous year, so I mean, I don't I have tons of PS4 games, but I don't have I have like less than 10 PS5 games. So that's and we had not heard anything from Nintendo. I mean, people are predicting the new Switch will be coming out either this year or next year. I mean, so we'll see what happens with Nintendo. I mean, I think it'll maybe be either late this year or next, or maybe beginning of next year. We'll have the new Switch. Oh, we got Randy is Viper or Randy Viper. I saw. What's up, Randy? Uh, Randy, if you're going to watch wrestling, it's going to be prime time for you. Where next week, where you get to watch the Elimination Chamber at a decent time. No, I just have I don't have a sore throat. I'm just getting over bronchitis, and I guess right now my throat is just a little hoarse. So I mean, like I went to the drive-through. Like I went out and game shopped, and I stopped McDonald's just to get something food in me because it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I didn't eat anything, so I went to McDonald's and I'm trying to just get enough just to get some food in me, and I'm trying to get like a 10-piece chicken nuggets. So I was like, I want number 5, and they finally said I want apple pies, and they're like, how many? Like, what are you talking about? So at least the bronchitis is not that bad anymore. It says WWE is usually 2 p.m. here. It'll be 9 p.m. But I prefer it during the daytime. I don't blame you. I agree. And I was talking to the Rose and Kratos and saying, hey, I think it'd be better if they would have it uh, like 12 o'clock your guys' time. And then by the time it was here, it would be like good. Like I'm talking about noon. And then it'd be like what? Later on for us. So, but I was hoping they would do that, but I don't know. I guess WWE likes to have their events at the later end of the day, but Bam's in here says you sound like Def. Yeah, I know. I know. I mean, at least I don't have to worry about me yelling or anything because I can't. I mean, I mean, I feel fine, honestly. Um, I was sick from Wednesday last week to I didn't really start getting really over it until like Tuesday. I didn't go back to work until Wednesday. I was I made a mistake last weekend to go out and Sunday like Saturday I was sick as fuck. But I got my first caller in. Welcome, Brad. How's it going?
What's up, buddy?
Oh, I don't know if you know, but I was just getting off over bronchitis.
It sounds like it. Sounds like you've been like. It sounds like your voice, like you've been smoking or something.
Yeah.
I think we all know the truth. What it is you just took a big bong rip or something here and got on air. Yeah, bronchitis, sure.
Oh, dude, this was definitely the worst version of bronchitis I ever had. Like, dude, I had swine flu back in '09, and that was the only thing trumped this bronchitis. Even when even when I had COVID was nothing like this. Dude, the 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday last week, they were absolutely the worst. Dude, I had body aches, I had back aches, knee aches, headaches. I had really bad headaches. And then I was having cough. And not only that, I was feeling warm where I had to turn the AC on in here and a fan so I
What?
can stay cool. So that sucked.
Wow.
I gotta put
You
my
should. You sure you didn't get the COVID again? Did you?
no.
Maybe it was COVID
I
again.
no because I mean it sounded like it didn't, but no. Uh, what happened? Well, I went to urgent care. Well,
Right.
before I went there, I took a COVID test. It was negative.
Okay.
And I went down there and they test me again for not only that, for other things.
Right.
And it was came back as bronchitis.
Hmm.
And they also made me do a chest X-ray, so they can see if maybe it was so bad they thought maybe it's ammonia,
Hmm.
but no. And then, oh, dude, my lower part of my left lung was hurting.
Ooh.
Yeah, it felt like I torn something in there, but it's a lot better.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's why you sound like really intense.
like like before you came on, I was telling them like I went to the McDonald's and went through the drive-through and they couldn't barely hear me. Um,
I want a cheeseburger. I
they
need a
pretty
cheeseburger.
well. Actually, I told them I wanted number five, and what that is the nuggets. And they instead of they five said instead of said large number five, they five said how many pie I want apple pies.
Apple
But
pies.
and they're like, how many apple pies you want? I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? It's like, let's start over again. It's like, what did you order? It's like, I want a large number five.
A large apple pie?
But
God. Oh, see.
Turtle Catcher says your bill must sound expensive. Oh shit, we got Frank in the chat. What's up, Frank? The future of gaming is
Gaming is
raw.
raw.
Welcome, Frank. But yeah, I guess I should have went in, but I didn't want to. I was lazy. But
Bronchitis. Well, at least you're feeling better.
oh,
I can imagine you got probably caught that out because you work outside, don't you, sometimes?
I mean, not as much as I used to. Now I'm more inside nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I don't know. Like honestly, I start feeling like this like a couple weeks beforehand. But I thought I was over it. Just had a lingering cough, and then Wednesday last week, um, I started going down. Like I felt sick in the morning, but I didn't want to miss work. So, but by lunchtime, I was like hell, and I
Ugh.
had to, and I didn't start feeling better at all. Except Saturday, then I paid the price for going out and got sick again. And then I had to go back Monday to urgent care to get a Z pack,
Oh, of course. The
and
famous
then
Z
also,
bag.
and not only that, to get another chest X-ray because they thought maybe then it may happen because I told them I was hurting in that part of my lung.
Mm-hmm.
So, um,
You just gotta quit smoking, Casey. Is what it is, you know.
but oh, turtle catcher saying I sound like Barry Corbin declining. So I don't know how much you know what's been going on with the uh gaming lately. I know you're more of the PC guy than consoles,
Well,
but
I heard a little bit. I mean, I heard about the Switch 2 getting pushed back into 2025. I heard rumors anyway of that. Other than
uh,
that, that's all I've heard.
oh, we got Tex in the chat. He says, "Is that the infamous Thurman is raw?" I hate you. I hate you, Tex. But well, the whole Switch thing, we don't know. Nintendo hasn't told us anything. So I'm predicting it's either going to come out late this year or early next year. That's my prediction
Yeah.
because that would give the Switch. God, Switch came out in 2017 and it's entered already the 7th year. So, oh, we're about to enter the 7th year or about to end it, I guess. But oh gosh, but uh, the biggest thing is people thought Microsoft is finally going to leave the gaming console business like Sega did and go third party. That was what people were predicting.
Mm.
And Microsoft had a podcast. It was very, very boring podcast. And and
Microsoft and
um
boring? Nah.
Well, the thing is, Microsoft never really makes money off Xbox, except probably through Game Pass. I
Yeah.
mean, on their consoles, they always lost money through consoles. Even they were made profit off the 360 for a little bit, and then when how many 360s got had to get replaced,
Jesus.
so they
Yeah.
lost money that way. So, and then Xbox One didn't do well at all. It got annihilated from the Switch and PS4. So I was I was pretty sure people were right. Like Microsoft could how many studios they have that they really don't need to produce any hardware. I mean, like they have the PC
Well,
side. So
Well,
like,
that's true. I mean, listen, Microsoft has never made a successful, I mean, a really successful piece of hardware. If you look at everything they've ever put out, nothing's ever made money. Nothing.
no, no.
And they've always been better on the software side, on the, on the licensing side, right?
Mm,
And so I've always thought, I was like, always, man, it's just a matter of time before they go in a different direction or they go into third party because it would make sense if they did that. They bought Activision, so it's
mm.
like, it makes sense that they would just do the games now.
Yeah,
So I don't,
that's what I'm thinking. Like, just put Game Pass on not only on PlayStation, put it also on the Switch. It's already on PC. So I mean, and people think all the Xbox games are going to be going cross platform. They only said only really 4 games are going to go cross platform.
right.
And I'm going to assume it's not going to be any of the big hitters like Halo is not going to do that. And Gears of War is not going to do that either. Um, but I don't know. If I was Microsoft, I would go third party. That's what I would do because they just keep losing money on the hardware end. I mean, to have a company, you know, develop a new console that costs millions to do,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then the
Well,
only
yes. I just don't see them doing it. I think right now, here's the other problem is that gaming right now is like in a crossroads. I think
oh
traditional
yeah,
console gaming is at a crossroads,
mm,
and you're seeing things like what all these damn headsets that people are coming out with. You got all these different augmented reality VR
yeah,
headsets that are really taking off, and now Apple's got one, right? So
yeah.
so I guarantee you, Microsoft is sitting over there like, hmm, and so Sony's probably doing the same thing. They're like, oh, well, we've
Well,
already tried that. Let's see what we can do on top of that.
well,
So
they have.
I don't know. It's a matter of time,
Well, PlayStation got their PSVR 2. It's not doing good, what I'm hearing.
right?
I mean, it didn't. I mean, honestly, what was crazy because I have the PSVR 1 and I still have mine, but what's wild is when people bought the PS5, they sold their headsets. I'm like, who's gonna want to like to me, I thought it was a cool thing to have the VR headset for the PS4.
Right.
Like, and I had the Pro, so it ran a little bit better too. But I have so many games, physical and digitally, for VR, and uh, Sony double dipped on the try to do it for the VR too. And thing is, a lot of times I think they just put half effort into it.
No, of course they did. They did. Of course they did. They half-assed it just to make a little bit of extra money, and it's
Mhm.
you can see it, right? Compared to some of these other ones that are out there.
Yeah,
You can see that they were just like, no, let's put it out there, put a two on it and a pro, and see how much money we can get up from some people. And the problem is that Sony and I think even Microsoft, the problem is that they can put the hardware out there, right? But
yeah.
they have to get all the other developers on board to make games that are going to be worthwhile. All
Mhm.
right, and like put big titles, like mainstream titles on a headset, like a Call of Duty on a headset, or a Halo on a
Yeah,
headset, or Gears of War, something on a headset, on a freaking VR headset. And when that happens, then things will take off. But right now, they're just they're fucking people around. They're just trying to Okay. Oh, you want one? So we'll put one out there, and you can play some of these games that look like it's on CD-ROM or something.
well, the
No,
thing,
it's
well, But the thing is, they make the platform, like they'll make the headset, and then there's no really first party games. They're like, all right, guys, we made this thing. Now make games for it for the third party.
right.
See, the thing is for the PSVR one, they have like a Batman game, but it's more like a demo than an actual game because it's not that long, and you're not like any action packed anything. You're more the detective version of Batman. You're just
Yeah.
going around figuring out clues and shit instead of there's no action in it at all. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, there's some really good games on the VR headset for the PlayStation 4, but I don't know. But I mean, honestly, we're heading towards the digital era. Like I'm gonna say this is definitely gonna be the last PlayStation and
Yeah.
Xbox have anything
Yeah.
physical.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's everything is moving into like it's kind of like a few years ago when we remembered
Mhm.
everything went from movies went from
Yeah,
physical into streaming, right? And now
yeah.
everything's been streaming for a few years now, and now the same thing's going to happen with gaming. Everything it's going to be services. Everything's
Mhm.
services based. You're going to have the Microsoft. I think Nintendo will probably be in there too with it, and so will Sony. I think you're right. I think this is the last generation of physical consoles. This is it.
Oh yeah.
This is it.
Then it's almost just better just have a fucking PC. I mean
Yeah, pretty much. Right. Yeah.
because the PC is gonna trump the consoles all the time. Like, plus, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's it's crazy because it's like it's hard to think of not being able to have that, but it's
Yeah.
where it's going. It's where it's been going, right? I think it's kind of like looking at Nintendo's consoles over the last 10, 15 years, and
Mhm.
you've seen them kind of getting smaller and getting a little bit less powerful, and trying to put more on the user experience on the side of okay, you can have all of this, you can get everything, every game that we've ever made at your fingertips at any time.
Yeah.
That's where that's where it's going, and I think they're all going to be like that pretty soon. And who knows? Shit, maybe in the future it'll be an issue where it's like somebody else, a third party will come and say, "Oh, you can get Xbox, Nintendo, and Sony titles all on the same service." Rather than having to go into individual services,
Yeah.
it's gonna get crazy. It's gonna get crazy.
Well, legend says that uh, the the 3DO company tried to do something like that back in the day. This is right after the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis era, where 3DO was trying to be the all-in-one gaming console. It was supposed to be the console, while
Everything.
everyone else makes the games for it.
Right.
Kind of how like the VCR, you know, where everyone can make their like it's the VCR or the DVD or Blu-rays. You can take your copy to any. Um, there's no exclusive
Right.
of you know that you could
Right.
take this thing to that machine and it should work like a tape to VHS player and it's gonna work. It doesn't matter what brand is mixed with what. So that's
Right.
what 3DO was trying to do, where they were going to try to get all these companies, and they wanted Sega and Nintendo to be on board. If it did, God, it a lot of things would have been different. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah. They also, I remember that because they also They thought that that console could be everything. It could be
Mm.
a computer. It could be a video console. It could be a movie player. That's another
Well,
thing.
that's the CDI. I think you're thinking though too, because the CDI it plays CD music, games, educational stuff, and or if you have the a vis, I think it's called video digital cartridge, they would let you play movies. Like it's called a VCD. It's the
Right.
predecessor to DVDs, but it's VCDs. So, so the CDI was trying to beat that as well, but obviously the CDI sucked ass.
It lasted I think it had its its point in time. It has time, and it inspired a lot of other consoles. But
Mm,
you know, it's just as what's happening now. It's like I read the other day that Netflix bought or got some licensing for streaming some major video games on their service, and it's like holy shit, it's
oh,
already
really?
started. It's gonna, you know, that shit's gonna change everything because I think right
Well,
now what it is the thing is the internet speeds have to be a certain level to be able to transmit that
mm,
much data, and you're getting now into 5G mobile speeds, and we're
yeah,
getting to that point. And so I'm just kind of curious how it's going to work out. I think people are sick of having to go and buying consoles every 3 or 4 years or whenever they launch a new system and a piece of hardware when it's you can store everything on the internet now. Number one, everything's in the cloud, right? Even if you look at computers, most computers now, the hard drives
yeah,
are smaller. The processing speed is there still. But you can, for instance, if you don't have a good game, if you get like a beater computer now, you can get
mm,
a service where you can rent a high performance gaming PC and run it in the cloud to run whatever game you want over the internet. So it's just like you
yeah.
had a gaming PC, even though you don't. So it's
See,
things are changing.
oh, things is changing. I mean, I think Nintendo like we know Microsoft is going to build another Xbox. That's what they said in their podcast. There is going
Yeah,
to be another generation of
might be the last, but
Xbox.
I think so. Yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah, they were
if they actually do it, I think they might change course and make it just focus on making software and doing their Game Pass because I guarantee you they're making more money through Game Pass
than anything else
than
on the hardware.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
yeah, absolutely.
And Game Pass is the best thing right now for Xbox. Like
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
one thing.
It's like the
It
one thing that I think that they've had through the entire Xbox journey that's been like golden
mm,
is that, right? Because you've had all these consoles,
oh,
you had the
I
360 issues, you had
mm,
all the different iterations of the Xbox that people are like, oh my God, what's next, right?
yeah,
It's people are sick of it. People can't keep track of it either, you know. It's not like Sony who waits a few years, you know. He says, I want to get a gaming system for the upcoming NCAA football game.
I I
Well,
don't know. I don't know about this because the thing is, I mean, they stopped making college games, and because I think there's so many rights, and then you have to worry about the players. Like I don't know how far into that is. Like I know
surely it's
people are
not
like
that
hardcore
difficult.
about.
I think it'd be should be a lot easier, right? Because if it's like a game, if they put the game online or something,
Mm,
and because you're right with the players' names, that's a thing. It's because their players is like those you don't know who's on the squad, and maybe someone gets transfers, and then it's like they're
Yeah.
stuck on the wrong team, or maybe somebody's dead, or somebody's in jail, or you don't know by the time that if they can just update it instantly, like some type of mobile game,
Yeah.
then it would be all right. It could work. It could work. And people, you're right. There's people that are hardcore college fans that love those games and want that type of game, just like Tex.
I well, I bet money what they're gonna do. They'll have like the team and just generic players, like because
Right.
one, like you have they're you have to get the license for all these top players, so it's easier just get the license of the college football team, the NCAA license, and all
Yeah.
the
And
conference.
just
Eh,
put some fake names on there, like Tecmo Bowl or something. Put some fake players'
Yeah,
names in there.
I wouldn't even put names on there. Just like this quarterback with this wide receiver, like uh number 8 throws to number 88. Like who
Or
says that they
let
really.
you make up the players' names. That'd be cool too.
Yeah. I
There you
mean,
go.
I think it's gonna be a lot of a hassle than they would actually do that, but I don't know. But um gosh, I know gosh, the gaming is changing. I mean, like there's this one guy named Adam Korlick. I brought this guy name up earlier, but previously he thought the PS4 and Xbox One was going to be the last generation, and I thought he was right because um, it looked like everything was going digital, especially when Microsoft had the first all digital console, and
Yeah.
then this generation they both have a physical and digital, and
Yeah.
I don't think I don't. I think it's all digital minus Nintendo. I think Nintendo will still have their chips what they use for the next Switch,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm thinking. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but
I
um,
think Sony.
I
I think Sony is really thinking about doing because they released that damn that what's it called that uh their take at the Switch. Their what the hell is that thing called?
the PlayStation Portal.
Yeah. So that's
Well,
all that's geared at is Switch users, right? It's obvious. What that tells me is they're
mm,
like, maybe we should try something like that next time around.
well,
But who knows? Who knows?
there's a huge catch about that PlayStation Portal though. You can't just play games like the Switch where you can take the Switch anywhere and you
Right.
don't have to be online to play it, right? While PlayStation Portal,
You have
what
to have.
that does is not only have to have the machine, you have to have a PS5 too. So you have to have a
Right.
PS5, you have to have a PlayStation Portal,
Of course you do.
and you have
Make more
to
money that way.
yeah, and then you have to have a internet connection. And if you don't play jack shit on that console, on that handheld.
It's like, what's the point in that thing? I don't
It's
know.
not like you
Maybe
can put like
you
download
want it's for
software
people that
to
want to
that
go
damn
play their
thing. There's no
PS5 on the
hard
toilet.
drive.
It's the only reason. It's the only reason that exists. It's
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
mean, yeah, they can play this.
But yeah, I think I
Oh
don't know.
yeah,
Gaming
but
is
you can also play this like somewhere else though.
right.
All you need is just like an internet connection.
Right.
So
Hmm.
potentially, yes, you can have your phone like on hotspot and walk around with your PlayStation Portal. But I mean, I think. See, the thing is, you also had the Steam Deck. That's like the Switch on steroids.
Yeah, which is
Nintendo
right.
should have just patent that thing, like where they had like where to the point where none of these other companies could copy them.
Right. Well, it's
Because
too late for that now. There's so many of them now. I'm losing track of
yeah,
them all. I think there's an Asus one.
oh
Asus
yeah,
has
I
one.
mean,
It's just and they're all just blatant rip-offs, but they're basically the PC rip-off of the Switch. And it's
oh yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. It's like that's another thing. It's like I think there's a lot of people in the PC community, in the gaming community. It's everything's going portable, portable,
mhm,
portable, portable, right? And then you have the everybody in the console saying everything's going digital. Virtual gaming.
mhm.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, Tour Capture says retro gaming is where it's at. Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega, 8-bit, 16-bit, 64-bit. The market of the Switch has it. If they relaunch the series of the console, the games, not digital form, it will change the industry back in the 90s. But I feel the one thing what Nintendo needs to do is to stop slowly dripping these games for the online service. They hadn't even released
Hmm.
anything in a while, and if they did, it's nothing even good. They blasted you with a bunch of good games, and then they give you a slow drip, and every once in
Mm,
a while they'll give you something good, but then they'll give you a few drips of dog shit games.
yeah,
So
they've
so
their
Nintendo's
problem.
not.
That's the problem with Nintendo. I think that for the last several years now is that their third party catalog is just dwindling. It's just going away slowly and slowly and slowly, and they can only release so many Zelda games and so many banner games. And people are getting sick of that shit. They're like, you know what? Yes, we love playing all these games and all these series of games, but it's like, what about the everything else? Most people are like, well, I want to play the same games that my buddy on Xbox is playing or somebody on Sony is playing. Why can't I play those types of games on the Switch? Why not? You know, and that's unfortunate for the Switch. I think the Switch still has a market, a certain age group, right? And that's what they're gearing towards. They're kind of like, okay, we're going to gear towards this certain type of gamer, while the other ones are like, let's try to steal some of the PC people, right? People that are serious PC gamers aren't going to look at the Switch and be like, oh yeah, that's going to be my portable, slash
No,
home
they're
gaming device. It's not going to happen.
no, they'll look at the Steam Deck because it's like I said, it's the Switch on steroids.
Yeah.
And you can get the games off Steam from so I mean that's another plus for Steam. But hey, welcome Steve Callen in the chat. And didn't get the chance to say hi to TTSYF. Welcome. But gosh, it's gonna be interesting. Um I was shocked that Nintendo didn't have an upgrade like a pro version of the Switch. And
Yeah.
they had the OLED version came out, but that's just a better screen with a better battery. But
Mm,
and I'm shocked that I mean it looks like we're not even gonna get a mid of refresh for the and you know what? I wouldn't doubt if we will get a refresh for the Xbox and the PlayStation 5. I mean they already released a new slim version of PS5 and they keep tinkering with it. So,
yeah.
ter-
Yeah, probably. Yeah, well, the damn thing. They always do that, right? They always. I think the problem with that is Sony is like trying to do what Microsoft has done is, which they're famous for, just not sticking with a console and just making
Mm.
all sorts of different versions and updates and form factors and all this crap, right? And flooding the market with more shit. And that's where Sony's going right now, clearly with like the Portal
Well,
and all these other accessories.
well, the thing is, Sony. I mean, uh, I don't know how they're doing in their manufacturing business. I know PlayStation is their top, their bread and butter. You know,
Yeah,
if
right.
if PlayStation 4 didn't do well, Sony would pretty much been done because I mean, like yeah, they had a good Spider-Man movies, but they are also you gotta remember they were tied with Marvel. They had help from the Marvel group, and I would say Disney as well tried to make Spider-Man good so they can have him enter the Marvel MCU, wherever they call it.
Yeah.
But
Yes. I think Sony Pictures and all that's going to be in good hands, but I think them as a player in electronics, like they're still around. They still are doing a lot of their other electronics well, and they're doing TVs and all that stuff really well. Um, but yeah, I
not
think
like back in the day,
with
though.
PlayStation is still their, like you said, it's what they're known for still. That's their main golden
Bread and butter.
goose.
Yeah, like I mean, Sony's TVs and products were not like they were back in the '90s, where like you saw Sony products. They're like that was like almost top of the line stuff, right? Like,
Mm,
oh, you got Sony Walkman or Sony Discman, Sony this or that. Um,
right.
Nowadays, like they're big brands. Like I can't even think of a couple of them right off the bat, but like even Samsung, I'm like, it's like there's so many manufacturers out there. It's like for electronics, it's flooding the market.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. I mean, Sony. I mean, it's still there's a lot of people out there that look at Sony as like a high quality manufacturer, and they
Yeah.
make high quality product, but it's still it's quite diminished than it used to be, right?
Mm,
It's not like it used to be, but they certainly have a lot more competition. They got Samsung, they got all the Chinese brands, they got all the
mm,
other rip off brands that are out there now, right? That are
mm.
saying, oh, we can give you the same thing for like half the price. And but I think with the PlayStation, it's like, well, we know that you only have a few other choices, and they know that,
Yeah.
and they know that, and so they're gonna put out a PlayStation 5, and then they're gonna put out a PlayStation 5.1, and then a 5.2, a PlayStation 5.5, and go all the way down the road and just milk the hell out of it
Well, that's
until it's over with.
well, they were saying, some people thought how the last generation they had a uh, mid-gen refresh that they're gonna start doing the cell phone tactic where you have like the iPhone, you had the iPhone
Mm.
10, and then you had the iPhone 10s, like
And
so
the
or
Pro.
whatever. I mean,
Hmm.
so it's like a half step and then another half step to the next one. So here's the thing though with Sony, both Sony and Microsoft, they don't make their own games. They're not even
Yeah.
first party anything. Like yes, Microsoft has a billion studios, but you never hear any of them making jack shit.
That's why they're buying out. That's why they've been like buying out some of the big studios recently, the
Yeah.
ones that actually some of the bigger ones, because they don't
Mm,
have the titles on the ones they have been making. They just didn't have the power, right? So that's why they've
mm,
been buying all these other ones because they want those classic titles. They want to be like Nintendo. They want to be able to release a Zelda game or
mm,
a Mario title game on their console that people will be like, "Oh, Sony, the game or this series,"
yeah.
and they think of that because they don't have that right now. They have not had that. They're like it's really just kind of a little bit of everything, whatever you want it to be, right? But they
Mm.
want. I think they're really jealous of Nintendo for that.
Oh,
I mean, hands down they are, and that's
all
why they're
right.
buying and scoping out all that money, trying to buy all these damn studios, these huge powerhouse studios.
Mm. And even some of the exclusives they have, like Halo and the Gears of War, they're not even first party. You think Halo's a first party game? No, it's not. I
No,
mean, it's just been exclusive to Xbox, but oh gosh, but in Sony, I mean, they killed off the God of War series after this previous one, so there's no more Kratos. So, like, you're gonna kill off one of the bigger names
uh,
that were like was a big name for Sony, even though it's not first
right,
party, but it was
right.
exclusive to Sony. But
Why would they
and
do that? Why would they do that? Why?
I,
It's
I,
just, it's
I don't know.
crazy.
Well, the Rose things is because they're going to go to a different story of the lore and move on from Kratos. I don't
Hmm.
know. I don't know the
They're gonna do a
lore. I mean, I
spin-off.
know, yeah,
Hmm.
spinoff, but I don't
Yeah, it
think
could
that's
be.
good. But like Nintendo, they have so much franchise is that um I mean they made their franchise over the years and they still make new franchise like the Splatoon series when they started that with the Wii U. And Splatoon is huge right now, like after
Yeah,
2 and 3. Like I
yeah.
enjoyed all three versions, but
I think that's what Sony wants. They want to be able to have that type of a franchise universe like Nintendo
mm,
has. They have the universe, right? And if you look at
yeah.
these franchises, they're not just making money now on video games. They're making money elsewhere now. They're making money in movies, right?
Yes.
On all sorts of licensing, right? And theme
Mm,
parks. I mean, there's all sorts of expansion. They're making shit tons of money on that now. And I think Sony's like, oh, we don't have the ability to do that. They're
nope.
like, oh shit, we don't have that. You
Because
know?
the thing is, they don't have like a studio that makes games first party. So they rely on third party companies.
Yeah,
Like you figure with Microsoft buying all these studios, you figure they should be flooding the market with exclusives, but they're
mm-mm.
not.
No.
I'm like, because you figure all these studios, like all these games come out and I don't know. It's just crazy. Like, but Nintendo, like, yeah, people are like, I want this new game to come out. Well, guess what? Sometimes it takes time to make games. I mean, dude,
Yeah.
they took it took Breath of the Wild 5 years to make, and it took like another six to make the new Tears of the Kingdom. And what they did, they took the map from Breath of the Wild and they added on top of that with they had sky islands and an underground world and and they dialed up the difficulty on it and it took them 6 years to do that though.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I mean
Yeah.
we
It's
still hadn't had we still don't have the successor to Mario Odyssey 2. I mean, to Mario
Mm,
Odyssey. I mean,
right.
but I mean, gaming is not the same it was in the 80s, 90s, even
No.
2000. Nowadays,
Mm-mm.
um, it's not the same.
I
I
that's another thing. I really think that that's gonna going back to what I said earlier. I think that it's going all digital. Things are going digital, and I think it's gonna be in the future. It might be a cross-platform thing where when Nintendo releases a game, it's gonna be on available on multiple, not consoles, but multiple platforms, different platforms, not consoles. So if
well,
you want to be able to play a Nintendo game, you can play it on your iPhone, or you can play it on your TV, or you can play it on your headset, or whatever the hell it is that,
mm,
your Facebook headset or something, you know. And it'll be the same way with Microsoft, and it'll be the same way with Sony, right?
I
And I wouldn't be surprised also if Microsoft tries to make a play on Sony at some point. But we'll see.
that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. But like, I'm gonna answer this comment. I appreciate that tour capture. I agree. I appreciate that very much. That I mean, E3 was dying. I mean, there was no reason to have a physical E3 anymore. After Nintendo started making these uh digital presentation that everyone loved, everyone copied it. And then it
Yeah.
slowly killed E3. And then honestly, the pandemic killed it.
Pandemic did it. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what happened.
pandemic was the final nail.
Yeah.
But um as I don't see, the thing is about as Nintendo, here's the kicker. Did you notice Nintendo don't make jack shit for cell phones anymore? They
Yeah,
don't do that.
they tried, they started and then they kind of like they got out of it. And
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, man. It's like the thing about Nintendo now is I think they've got a reputation now, and because they don't have all the third party support, and I think they have a reputation that they're hard to work with and that they want to just do their own damn thing. And I've heard that before
Oh
within the
yeah.
developer community that they don't mix well. And and if you have that,
Mm,
you're not going to be successful at pushing into other platforms. And I don't know. I think that Nintendo has an old way of thinking, and that 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 we go, oh, we're going to do everything ourselves. It doesn't work that way anymore. It doesn't work that way anymore. And it doesn't. And I mean, you're going to need more people's help to be successful. You're going to need it.
mhm.
And you want to be able to get into the most hands as you can as possible to make as much money as you can. I mean, think about it this way, right? When the first iPhone came out, there was no app store, right? There was no third party, nothing. It was all it
Yeah.
was all Apple shit. All only Apple, right? And people were like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's nice technology and everything. It didn't really take off until they released the App Store and letting all these developers come in and put all that shit in there. In the same way with Android too. It did
Mm.
not. No one gave a shit about it until all that, right? It's got to
Oh
be the
yeah.
same way with the games. It's got to be the same way. It's just not going to work. So I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, okay, Nintendo, okay, you're doing some things great. And then some of it's like, what are you fucking doing? What are you fucking doing?
Yeah.
And it's like,
You know
how
what?
much longer is it going to be until somebody buys them out? I don't know.
Mhm. And I mean, they're making money. I mean, dude, Switch is selling, even though I know the Switch is the consoles selling's on the decline right now, but it's like in the top five, top five. most best selling consoles. It has beaten even the Wii. So like no, has it? Yeah, I think it's beaten the
It already
Wii.
has. Yeah, it
Yeah.
has.
So like that was their gold standard was the Wii because Wii was over 100 million consoles. And I don't count the fucking DS or the Game Boys and as a console because that's a handheld to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, but Switch blew all their other consoles away. But honestly, if I'd tell you one thing, if I was either Microsoft or Sony or even Nintendo, I would get two two companies I would go after to get for their franchise. One is obvious. I would say that in a second. The other
Right.
the other one I would say is Atari. You go in,
Mm.
you get the Atari name and all the franchise. I'm talking about not only the all the games from what they made now for that stupid console they have now, and to all the way back to when the 2600 and all the arcade games, and get all the license that Atari was sold, and then
Mm.
do the exact same thing. Try to buy Sega, managing
Yeah.
all the Sega properties. Like obviously you have Sonic. If anyone can do a good Sonic game, I would trust Nintendo better
Yeah.
than Sega right now
More than Sega. Yeah.
because Sega,
It is.
it's sad when uh, their better Sonic game was not even made from Sega. It was a person who made a fan made game, and then Sega's like, "Ooh, we like that. We're gonna throw our name on top of that, and we'll give you money." And
It's
that's how.
like stupid. It's horrible. So
Yeah,
bad.
and see, the thing is, Sega thinks, "Oh, all these 3D Sonic games are great. They
Mm.
they look the same to me." So, like,
I've seen you play. I've seen you play one of them, and it's like, what's the point of this shit?
yeah, I mean, I can understand back with the Dreamcast, that was cool then, but it's
Right.
like the same thing over and over and over.
Right.
Like, I
The
don't get it. There's no innovation here.
Sega's still
Or at least,
trying. Sega's still trying to outdo Super Mario 64.
yeah,
They're still 30 years later. Oh,
yeah,
we're gonna try to make a game that can outdo Super Mario 64. That's where
yeah,
they're at. They're still stuck there, right?
yeah.
That's where they're at. Yeah, I feel bad for Sega. Poor Sega. But yeah, I
And
think if anybody could make it right, it would be Nintendo. It'd be kind of interesting.
I'm sure people thinking it's, oh, I'm a Nintendo fanboy. Like, yeah, but I mean, I would trust them because think of all the franchise, not only Sonic, all the Sega arcade games out there that they could have the rights to, and even all the like the games from the Sega Genesis era, all those franchise back then. I mean, nowadays the only thing Sega is known for is Sonic and Shamu,
Yeah.
and
I
and
don't know.
now,
I think the retro gets kind of like you had a commenter said that the retro gaming is Nintendo is where it's at for retro gaming, and I think they could capitalize on that if they had Sega and all these other titles into that that catalog, had the entire catalog there, so that you could do that. But the problem that I think that retro gaming is having right now, and I think you've seen it as well, is that there's all these fucking cloners out there, and there's all sorts of really popular handheld devices and
yeah,
non-handheld devices that have all these games from Sega and from
mm,
Nintendo, all these old 64
Pirate stuff.
these pirated stuff, right? And they're selling like hotcakes, right? And
Oh
because
yeah.
they're cheaper than the Switch, they're more
Mm,
portable than the Switch. They have better battery life. They have all the games preloaded already. You don't have to pay a dime extra for them, and it's illegal as fuck. I mean,
yeah.
if I was Nintendo, I'd be like searching Amazon, looking for every one of these motherfuckers. But what? We're gonna sue them. We're gonna sue them. We're gonna sue them. We're gonna sue them. But no,
Oh.
they're like, nah, let's not do that. No.
Oh,
What?
believe me, they're busy suing other people right now. Like they'll sue people who makes hacks of games.
Right.
Like
Jesus. But it's like,
let's see what
get
Tour Capture says right here. Does age make a difference for upcoming consoles or gaming? We are all younger now, but the generations now not sure that there's a market. There's a difference then and now. Gosh, it's gonna be different. In the future, it's gonna be all digital. All it's gonna
yeah,
be in the future is gonna be a PC box. That's what all the console's gonna be. It's a PC box where
little box. Yeah,
you either download your game to a hard drive or you'll be playing off the cloud.
yeah, yeah. I agree. It's gonna be all up the cloud, and if you want to start on the TV, you could like finish it on your laptop, finish it on
Yeah.
your tablet or whatever it is, and but it's gonna be like a little box. It's kind of like the little TV boxes they have now, like the little. That's where the console's going. It's gonna be something like that, and it's all gonna be in the cloud.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And it's gonna suck because
it's gonna
it
suck,
won't be the
right?
same.
It won't. No, it
I
won't.
mean I mean it's gonna be different. Like even for like people like me where I go collecting, I mean for me I pivot and move all the time. That's like I like collecting all types genre of consoles. Like I'm like
Right.
I'll see something interesting. Like recently when I picked up that Vectrex, like I've been playing those games. Um, I think that's cool as fuck, and I keep finding stuff like, ooh, I want to play this, or like, and then I'll try to collect for it. Like hopefully run across them. Like the Vectrex, very, very, very uncommon to come across, right? So,
Right.
imagine not only coming across the console, imagine trying to come across a game. Like, it's very hard. I mean, oh, Lucas is getting mad about something.
Uh-oh. He sees somebody.
No, I think he hears. I think he hears voices like around the apartment.
You got a good guard dog, man. That's good.
Oh, hey,
He
hey,
knew it was gonna happen.
hey! I think hey, calm down. Hey, hey, calm down. Don't make me sell you to the Chinese food people.
Oh,
I'll sell you to the Chinese restaurant. Keep that up. I'll have some dog fried rice if you keep that up. I'll grill you myself.
he's gonna put you on his George
No, it's
Foreman
because
grill.
my
Be careful, dude.
people upset. Dude, calm down. He's it's because I guess people show up at their apartment at 9 o'clock at night now. Like,
Oh,
and
well,
I
of
think I
course they
just
do. They maybe. They're probably coming home from their shift at McDonald's or Burger King and coming home at night.
Oh shit, we got AJ in the chat. Welcome, AJ. How's it going?
What's everybody? There you go. The big
Calm
O.
down. Calm down. Like, see, I can't really hear much out there. Now I can hear them walking. But
Upstairs?
yeah, that's the one thing. It's like now it's kind of like now because if I want to record something, it's gonna affect my recording. And two, I have Dukas. If he hears that, he
Then you have
goes
to like stop and pause and wait for them to
exactly.
stop. Wait for Duke to stop. Yeah, I understand. I
I
get
even
that
had,
totally.
and I actually also Oh, by the way, comment on your team winning the Super Bowl.
Your KC Chiefs won, AJ. I don't. I believe isn't AJ not a Chiefs fan? I don't think he's a Chiefs fan for some reason. I don't know.
No, he's a Raiders fan and a
Yeah, that's
Lions
what I thought.
fan. Lions
And
got
a Lions fan.
Lions
Well, they
came
both
close.
lost, so
Lions Lions came
the
close. I had to give
the
it to
Lions
Lions.
did. They did. The Raiders were nowhere near there. Actually, the closest they were to the Super Bowl is that the Super Bowl was at their stadium. That was it.
No. That's- but any comment about your team winning the Super Bowl?
Oh yeah.
Or
I have no comment. I have no comments at all. I'm happy camper. I do not, but don't expect me to go listening to fucking Taylor Swift. All right,
oh god.
that's all I'm gonna say. But no, I kind of expected that to happen once I learned that there was not going to be a good team in the Super Bowl, so other than the Chiefs. So I saw the Niners. I was like, oh hey, we can win another Super Bowl.
Well,
I'm sorry.
everyone I was listening to, everyone predicted the Niners. I was like, you know what? I like the Chiefs. Everyone hates the Chiefs because of fucking Taylor Swift. And so I went on with it. So I was like, you know what? Not only the Chiefs are going to win, they're going to present the Lombardi Trophy and the MVP trophy to Taylor Swift. That was my prediction.
Oh my God. No, I listen, the Chiefs, here's the thing is they're the team to beat right now, right? They're like the most successful team right now, and
God damn.
everybody hates the best team, right? That's how it
Yeah.
works. But I remember the Chiefs when they were not so good, and
Hmm.
when they were having losing seasons and having players that were going and killing themselves, literally killing themselves. So yeah, I remember that time. So I'm fucking enjoying this time. I'm enjoying the good years while they last.
Well,
That's what I'm going to do.
I'm wondering if they're gonna continue having Super Bowl winner parades after this shooting. I guess. I mean, you sadly. I mean, gosh. I mean, you figured they wouldn't want to do these parades anymore after that.
I would think that I was like shocked. I'm not shocked that they even do them anyway, because it's like the dead of winter, or it's still pretty cold out. It's like,
Mm,
why not just have that shit in an arena or something, and just like have a celebration or something, not a parade. I guess that's what they do technically. They had this parade and then they like met at a location, and that's where the actual fucking shooting was.
I,
But the thing is, those shootings can happen anywhere. It's like
yeah,
another part of me is like, well, why stop doing something because some fucking nut
yeah,
I
true.
think that's the wrong way to go, right? So, oh, so because that we can't do that anymore. Oh shit, we can't go to school anymore because there's school shootings. Oh, we can't go to Walmart's because there's shootings in Walmarts. And no, it's just like no, it's just No,
That's good.
I think everybody is like too paranoid about that shit. Just move on with their life, you know. Move
Yeah,
on,
that's good.
move
That's a
on.
good point. That's a good point. That's a good point.
But I'm enjoying the fucking Chiefs Super Bowl victory, Casey. That's what my thing is. It's you know, it reminds me a lot of there's a lot of memories of the Cowboys in the '90s and winning their third title.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it feels. It's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna enjoy this while this shit lasts.
Isn't this their
That's how I
third?
feel
Is
about it.
this is this their second or third Super Bowl in recent years
This
for the
is
Chiefs?
this is their
Third.
third Super Bowl, yeah, in recent years. The first one, they hadn't won a Super Bowl before a few years ago. They hadn't won one in like 50 years. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, but that's why I mean when I saw AJ in here, like, dude, I have to give the Lions props. I
they did. They were.
Who figured the
I think
Lions
next
would get
year they're
that?
going to be, yeah, that team is. That group and that coach was like, he's like, after that loss, he come out and he said, listen, we're going to get to the Super Bowl next year, one way or another. And I was like, oh shit, these, these guys aren't going to fuck around. So no, they're a young group. They're really good. They got a quarterback that's undefeated against Mahomes, by the way. So might be something to look forward to next year. I think they're going to be pretty damn sharp, pretty hard to beat. Uh, but yeah, because
Well,
the Packers aren't going to fucking beat them. I mean,
good.
fucking Packers, you know, fuck
Yeah,
them.
you you probably hate them for one reason. I hate them for another reason. Like, I mean, I guess they could be the same type of reason because my sister is like sister is super competitive in football, and of course, anytime the Cowboys lose to Green Bay, I never hear the end of it.
Oh no,
So,
I'm sorry, Casey.
so
Yeah, that's gonna be a rough one. Yep.
yeah, and, and like so, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Anytime Green Bay loses something in fashion, it, I kind of smile. Uh,
You kind of smile. I understand that. I do too, kind of, because I hate them for very similar reasons as well. But because I have some family members that like them, but also because they stole a Super Bowl from us, number one actually, we would have five Super Bowl titles if it weren't for the Packers. So that's why I don't like the Packers. The same reason I don't like the Bucks, and I'll never like the Bucks. So fuck them. Fuck both of the Bay teams.
well, Charles, don't worry about it. It's no big deal, bro. I appreciate you coming by, though. Um, but yeah, like, gosh, Green Bay. But one of the funnier things I did when I came back to Oklahoma. This is before my sister moved away. Um, the first thing we had a big family get together, and uh, I have my wife's jerseys, and I have a Brett Favre jersey that's a New York Jets jersey. So just to stick it to her, I went to that dinner wearing that jersey, and I knew she was going to give me that glare because I was like, "Hold on, I fucking love Brett Favre."
Yeah,
Like,
they're always
like
like that. They love Aaron Rodgers, and now they don't for some reason.
yeah,
You need to get an Aaron Rodgers Jets jersey now and wear that next time you ever see if you ever see it. But hey, like
uh,
my new Jets jersey of your favorite quarterback of all time. Yeah, fuck. And
well,
Green
I
Bay
mean,
now, Green. Here's the thing. Green Bay, they got. I think they had a lucky year this year is what happened, and they had Dude Love as their quarterback. So, and he's not going to be. he is not going to be. I'm sorry. Everybody's, oh, he's not going to be amazing. Green Bay's had amazing quarterbacks for us. Yeah, we'll see how he does next year. Let's see. Let's see. Good luck. Good luck with that shit. But yeah,
Well, oh gosh. I mean, dude, Aaron Rodgers, I totally forgot he went to the Jets because like one, I didn't get to watch any Green Bay games, but or nothing that comes to mind. But when
yeah,
I heard Aaron Rodgers got hurt in the first game and missed the whole season, I'm like, like how's like, dude, like how bad is that injury that he's out for the year or like the first game and you're gone? Because remember, wasn't the Jets supposed to be a thing, and
they were.
their season went down the toilet in the first
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, and they basically they had to pay him a shit ton of money too,
Yeah,
guaranteed money, where he was just sitting on the he did nothing this year pretty much, just trying to recover, and he made
yeah,
a fortune. He he made a fortune,
he made
laughing his ass all the way to the bank.
yeah,
Ugh,
he makes more money like like more probably me in 1 year and one he's sitting on the bench on a headset talking, you know.
yeah,
So he's like,
he probably makes
I'm
more
sure
than
he's
you
not
and I
making.
have ever made in our entire will make in our entire life, taking a dump in at a game, on the sidelines or something. That's what.
That's
That's
right.
what. Aaron Rodgers. He's like, yeah,
Well, I mean, gosh, it's funny when
but yeah,
people break down someone's contract to where, like, oh, this guy makes this much money per game. Like, when it's kind of like how Monday Night Raw is going to Netflix. They signed for
right.
$5 billion for 10 years,
Yep.
and they someone figured out how much they were getting per episode to per hour. It's like $3 million per hour for so an episode of Raw. They would pretty much get $10 million right there,
Yeah.
close to
What
10 million.
I'm expecting from
So
all that is the production of these fucking shows now are going to be they're going to be like so just like incredible. It's going to be like, wow, what the fuck happened? It's gonna be like a Las Vegas fight every night on Monday Night Raw, right? Where it's gonna be like, star-studded event
well,
for Monday Night Raw. It's
well
gonna be crazy.
before they did this deal with USA and Fox 5 years ago, 5 years beforehand, they cut out the fireworks for a while. Like there was no pyro, there was no pyro unless it was like event like WrestleMania or when they go to Saudi Arabia. That's when they would pull out the pyros. They stopped using pyros for like a few years, and
Because they're
then
cheap asses.
when they went to their TV rights deals they're on right now, they made it where they returned the pyros, and that was one of
Right.
the good things that I missed was the pyros. But
Right. I mean, you look at Netflix, they got like movie studios and fucking,
mm,
I mean, they got so much money they can swim in it. So it's a brilliant move for them, obviously, because they're going to be able to get that entire viewer base. Be like, hey, subscription Netflix, ching ching, right there. And it's huge, huge.
mm,
But we all knew that it was all going to go to streaming at some point. So somewhere or another it was going to happen. Um, But I'm just looking forward to it because I think it's nice because I'll be like, hey, I can get Raw now because there's sometimes I can't watch it here, and now I know I will be able to because Netflix is available anywhere.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I'm just like blown away though by the whole thing of it. Everything that's happened to that
Hmm.
business this year, in the last
Oh,
year, it's just like it's
it's in,
mind-boggling shit.
as
Yeah.
especially that one week when the whole thing with Monday Night Raw being signed to Netflix next year, and then the whole thing with then they're like, oh yeah, The Rock is on the board of directors of TKO, and then
This crazy
like two
shit. Yeah.
and then 2 days later, the whole Vince McMahon thing happened again. Like I still think a lot of that was no coincidence, if you ask me.
I don't think I don't think it was. It was all planned, all of that. I think Rock joining and all that was a distraction. The was going to be it was supposed to be kind of a distraction for that, and I think
Yeah,
he was also brought in there because he's somebody that Vince trusts, and they trust him to be in there with that. And I think it's all part of the Vince plan, you know. And he's probably like, ha, fuckers, yeah, sure, I'll go ahead and step down and all this shit. But you
yeah.
know how much money he's got in his pocket, you
Oh
know.
shit, dude! I
Jesus.
I guarantee what happened when when Vince saw this stuff on the writing on the wall from the from 2 years ago when
Yeah,
everything started out with all this um NDAs were coming out about all these women that he slept with that he
yeah,
signed bought off where
yeah,
he resigned the first time.
right,
Then he was like, you know what? This is going to go further downhill. So what
yeah,
I'm going to do is that I'm going to make the best deals, the TV deals. I'm going to
yeah,
get the money from that. Then I'm going to get the
yeah,
best deal I can when we're going to merge um with UFC to make TKO. Get the
right,
money out of that, and then I still he still has stock. And then he's like, I'm gonna still get draw a paycheck. And then when the other shoe falls, I'm gonna just finally just cash in my chips and like he's got all the money he wants and he doesn't have to deal with the bullshit anymore.
yeah. I think, yeah, I think I agree too. I think he just wanted to get all the money he could, because he's old, right? I think he wanted to be like, okay, let's have a big last hurrah.
Yeah,
And we're like, all right, we're gonna sign, like you said, get the biggest TV deal. We're gonna fucking merge with UFC. We're gonna go public. We're gonna open a brand new headquarters that's badass. By the way, I saw some things of that about that. It's like holy shit. And then that rock thing, I thought was I almost expected that to happen because the guy was involved with both companies. He was involved with UFC and he was involved with WWE, obviously, right? And so I was like, well, that
yeah,
makes total sense. That makes total sense. And he's a promoter. He knows how to sell the brand. So it's like
yeah.
I was like, oh man, that stuff is that's yeah, that's one of the I was like it's just mind blowing. And I guarantee you, while all this shit's happening, fucking AEW's over there like, now what the fuck do we do now?
Actually, I think AEW is in a better position than they were because we knew where SmackDown was going. SmackDown is going to USA. Uh,
Right.
I think later this year. NXT is moving to the CW. We had no idea where Raw was going.
Hmm.
So there was rumors that the
Fox.
company who that they thought Raw was going to go to Warner Brothers
Hmm.
Discovery, where
Right.
pretty much jump on TNT and TBS,
Yeah.
where AEW has no home. So
Right.
when you heard Raw go on Netflix, AEW's like, and
They're like, we were gonna have no choice.
yeah,
Yeah.
and not only
Yeah.
that, with the WWE getting all those crazy TV right deals, AEW produced 5 hours of content a week. So they're gonna still get uh
Sure.
they're
Yeah,
gonna get a TV right increase.
they'll have some market share, but it's still not gonna be. I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, we're gonna have to see how this plays out, right? It's like I would like to see how AEW is gonna be in about a year after Raw is on Netflix. I want to see how they're at. You
Yeah,
know, will Amazon be like, hey AEW, come on our streaming service? You know, something like
I
that,
was shocked.
maybe.
I was shocked that Amazon didn't. But to capture, yeah, Raw is. This is the last year Raw is on TV. It's going to be on Netflix now. After, but that is true. Simpsons is the longest running TV show, but Raw is the longest weekly TV show that's produced weekly content.
Yeah.
While Simpsons don't produce new content every week, but yes, Simpsons has been longer,
This
and
is Raw still live, or is there they do a lot of tape stuff though?
Raw is mainly live. There's
Right.
very,
I think it's got to be the longest running live show ever. I think it's got to be.
I believe so, and then
It's
I
got to
think
be.
right behind that is SmackDown, and
Yeah.
then it's Impact after that. But but I mean, but Simpsons, yes, Simpsons were made in the '80s, but they weren't making new content weekly.
Right.
They
There was
have,
lots of reruns for
yeah,
years.
but um, no, it's gonna be interesting. A lot of things are changing in the future. I mean, it's crazy. And honestly, I thought Raw was gonna move to. I thought maybe Fox was gonna pick up Raw
Yeah.
because think about it. Monday night was Raw. Fox have on Mondays? I can't even tell you. Like, like
Oh.
when you think
Baseball
that
or
bit,
something probably. I don't know. Shit, I don't know. That's a
when
great
that
question. I have no idea.
I would put that on. I would If I was Fox, I would pick up Monday Night Raw and drop SmackDown because Raw is the bigger name, and Fridays are not good for if you want to try to draw viewers. Even though SmackDown was getting more viewers than Raw was,
Yeah.
but imagine the viewership if Monday Night Raw was on Fox. Like
Oh,
everyone can watch Fox if they wanted to.
right.
So I really thought that's where they were going. That
Now,
or
there's more money in it for them in streaming though. I mean, it's like it makes sense. They're gonna make a shit ton more money, and they
mhm.
got the viewership. I don't think the WWE's worried about
Oh
losing
no.
its viewership. I really don't think they are. They're like, oh, we got multi-generational fans. We don't need to fucking worry about that. We're gonna go and get the most money as possible.
Is it
And
and
we're gonna bring all of our viewers, and Netflix is gonna be begging for us every time to re-sign our contract over the years. They're gonna be
well well
begging.
well they, it's been kind of up in the air what people says what the contract is. What I was hearing that the the first 5 years, after the first 5 years, Netflix has the right to opt out if they want to. But
Yeah.
I heard it's up to 10 years, and then they have the option to re up for another 10 years after that. So
Ooh.
imagine 20 years from now, it could be still on Netflix. So, like, I'll be 62 years old when their TV, like, if Netflix deal would run out, if they re upped it after the first 10 years and then the second 10 years ran out. So I would be
Yeah.
62 years old when that deal is done.
Yeah.
And
That's right. And you know what? Vince McMahon will be still in court for his 90th sexual offense uh, hearing, and he'll be there. He'll be there like as a vegetable, and he'll be like, "You son of a bitch!" Yeah, he'll be in there. Yep. He'll 20, and
AJ
he'll be like 90, but he'll be there.
AJ says, can't believe TNA is outlasted WCW. It's sad.
That's fucking
I
bad.
mean, uh, the thing is, TNA is not the same. I mean, yes, it outlasted it, but WCW had more. They're remembered a lot better than TNA. Like TNA's been a like minus the golden years, from '02 to like before the Hogan and Bischoff era. That was the great era of TNA. And then when Hogan and Bischoff came in, it went
Yeah.
but
Took.
and TNA hadn't been the same since.
Yeah.
But while WCW had legacy behind it, not only with WCW, you had the NWA behind that.
Right.
So,
There
but
was a lot more to it. There was a lot more to it, and it's yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's even a good comparison. To be honest,
no,
not
I
even
mean,
a good comparison. Yeah.
see the TNA, I mean WCW. See, the thing is, WWE is eclipsed what WCW was. I mean, WCW was a corporate business that happened to have a wrestling business, a wrestling show. Well, WWF was a wrestling business that pretty much turned corporate. Like they pretty much turned corporate when they went public.
Right.
And especially after they bought WCW. I mean, then they were like, oh, nothing, and really nothing stopped them ever since.
Right. Jesus. Man, it's lots of changes. Lots of changes coming.
Yeah. But even though I've been kind of want to talk about a little bit of wrestling, even though we talked about the future of gaming for a while, so obviously we moved on from that. But um, right now, obviously all the big things is about the Vince McMahon situation, all the allegations, and now like the story has grew more life because the whole diva that who died in a few years ago named Ashley was it Mazzaro
Yeah.
that where she was raped in Kuwait and I heard about the story years ago where it was a military person. I heard it was a doctor, an army doctor, and that's ended up
Hmm.
what it was. And it's kind of like the story I've been hearing where the the heads, the higher ups, they didn't probably Vince told her where, well, don't let one bad experience, ruin the whole thing they're doing with the military because they want to work with the military because
Right.
working with the military gives them so much good PR, right?
Right. Yeah.
So,
Of course.
well, when she Ashley Mazzaro reported to the higher ups, they should have just went and talked to their superiors and have that person prosecuted through their military superiors.
They should
That's
have.
probably
They should
what
have.
they
Yeah.
should have done.
Yeah.
And I mean, it shouldn't have been like well known, but it should have been taken care of where she could have been com- she could have had some closure and some compensation from being raped, but
Right.
not being covered up. Where the reports were saying WWE had no idea, but then this whole thing broke out saying Johnny Ace or John Laurinaitis saying, "Oh no, management knew," and now, like, yeah, of course, management knew. They're gonna deny
Right.
it. Of course, they're gonna deny it. And now they're saying Stephanie knew, like Stephanie McMahon knew because she was representing Vince because they didn't want Vince. They figure Stephanie is an extension of Vince McMahon.
Right.
But what could Stephanie do? I mean, she could only report back to her father saying, "Oh, about this." And like, yeah, they could have done better, but them going after Stephanie, I don't see her. Um, I need to go into more of about the story, but
All that.
I
That's
mean,
the
it
problem.
doesn't
Is
shock me.
it does. Yeah, it didn't shock me at all. I mean, here's the problem: is that when you go out and you make that much money in a very short period of time, all the dirt slingers are going to come out of the shadows, right?
Mm,
All this for all these years, and this guy's old, right? This guy Vince has seen a
yeah.
lot of shit over the years, right? His
Oh
family has
yeah.
seen a lot of shit over the years.
Oh yeah.
So they're all coming out now. They all want a piece of the pie. Everybody does. Everybody's like, okay, they're lining up. They're lined, and we probably haven't seen the end of it, right?
Oh no. Or the
And
thing. Well, I'm thinking someone had to be the whistleblower. I mean,
somebody had to do it.
it's and someone
That's right.
has because all the women that Vince had them sign NDAs, and like so they're like they kind of bound and gagged from not saying anything, or they won't get their money, or they'll turn around and get sued and get their money back or whatever. Like
Jesus Christ. Ugh.
so, like I mean, I think Ashley Mazzaro is definitely a victim for what she got, and
Right. Right.
she killed herself back in 2019. But AJ says, I think this Vince McMahon Me Too movement is happening again. It is. But I mean, Vince did this to himself. Vince
Yeah, he
did
did.
this to himself.
Vince screwed Vince.
Yeah, like dude, when it's outrageous. I mean, the lawsuit that's going on, like it's going to be interesting if this thing goes all through. Like, if this loss is goes to court and goes through discovery, and then we find out what happened in discovery, where all the juicy details of all the
I,
executives that she named, or she didn't
yeah.
name.
Yeah.
I
Like
mean,
there was the Laurinaitis and Vince
yeah,
tag teaming people. Yeah, that was it was like things like that I don't want to hear. I don't even want to think about type of stuff. And it's like, ooh, God, I don't want to think about that.
That's not even the worst part. When
Right.
Vince took a shit on her head during a threesome. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I heard about it.
like
Yeah.
like I don't know how. I mean, God, man, like that's crazy. How I mean, I seen a picture of this woman. This woman is hot. So, but I mean, he has way hotter women, that came through his wrestling business. But
Yeah.
it's amazing that he was not smart enough to not do this stuff. Like, yeah, I can understand him having a fling with someone, but when you have it to the point where you're tossing this person around as you're like, hey, Johnny, here's this one woman I've been fucking. Here, you take her, and then and
Jesus.
and the whole thing with like people are canceling Brock Lesnar. I mean, at least Brock Lesnar is being like taken off because the whole thing with um because he asked for a pissing video from her, but it's crazy. I mean, we have not heard.
Oh, yeah. Wait till they get into the real details.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
like
gonna be bad.
there was a bunch of people that she didn't name. She was saying executive one, two, three, and four, and this is not mentioning about John Laurinaitis. It's saying other executives and like
Mm.
also like therapists too. It's like God damn. Like you figure with all these people knows what's going on, how did this not leak out sooner? You know?
Money, money, money. That's why. He probably
No,
paid a
no.
lot of them off. He
But I'm
probably
like,
did.
man,
That it'll come out too. I mean, he
it's
probably signed
on.
NDAs with all of them, is what he did.
Yeah,
Um, and a lot of most of these people, they're all company paid people, right? I guarantee most of these
yeah,
people have signed NDAs because of their employment conditions of their employment, not to talk
yeah.
about a lot of that shit. So
I
that's why. That's
That's a
why.
good point. That's a great point. Actually, I didn't think about that. It's like I was listening to. Uh, I don't know if you ever listened to Bruce Pritchard's podcast with Conrad Thomas, but
Hmm.
Bruce Pritchard. Well, they Conrad just quickly asked him, "Was like, I know you can't talk about it because you're still part of the company, and there's legal reasons why." But Bruce Pritchard says he has nothing to do with it, but he can't talk about it because one, he works there. So uh,
Hmm.
it's interesting. Like I don't think
Boy.
we definitely we I think this is just only just begun,
Hmm.
and unless
Yeah.
unless this thing gets settled, and I think that's
Right.
Vince.
It's
I
possible. It's
think Vince,
possible. Yeah.
mm, if
It's
Vince
possible now
McMahon
that
and
Vince has got so much money now. He's probably like, okay,
mm,
take you know, $80 million or something. Here, take it. Something like, and Vince will be like this. He'll be like, yeah, that's nothing. That's like pocket change to me now, and
if I
it's very possible just to
mm,
protect himself and the
yeah,
organization. I think that's the other thing. Yeah.
well, if I was Vince in WWE or in TKO, I would try to get this thing settled before they reach Discovery. Because imagine all the damage TKO and WWE is gonna have if they get into that. So they're probably going to try to settle this as fast as they can,
Yeah.
and that's the only way it's going to stop from the rest of this coming out. But uh,
Yeah. Let's hope there's no videos and no photos. That's all I'm saying. Like, 'cause I
oh
don't know,
gosh,
man. I just, Vince and his peeing or shitting and his, and it's one thing that he looks like Gomez Adams right now. I mean,
oh
it's
god,
just.
yes. Not only that, uh, did you send me that picture of the guy who looks like the guy who played Gomez Adams, but he was oh god, he was the boss for Street Fighter 2. Where
Yes.
did you send me that picture?
Yeah.
Like 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 I mean, God, that's a funny picture, but
Yeah,
yeah, that,
Vince. Oh God, the guy, man. I have a feeling though that they're gonna try to settle this, but I have to wonder if Vince is gonna last through all this. Like if he'll like croak at any given. Every time I see him on the news or see him on a video and in
he
public,
he was
he's got a cane and he's
mm,
limping around and he's like bent over like this, right? And he looks like shit, worse and worse every single time. So
well,
I don't know.
I
I don't
heard he
know.
had recent surgery, so that's that's why he's using a cane.
Hmm.
So, but I mean, I don't know. He outlasted his father, I think, by 10 years. Like
Yes, I think
seen Vince
that
McMahon
just goes
seen
to show you that money can buy you health.
yeah,
Uh,
and well, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, look at I guess his mom lasted to be 100 or like close, like a little over 100. So like I'm like, gosh, the
yeah,
guy's a genetic. Like I don't know if he's genetically great or I mean we know he does steroids, but
of course he does. Yes, of
um,
course. Yeah. That's, I think
it's well
everybody in that
known.
fucking business has done the steroids. Everybody. I think all of them have. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not
But
surprised.
I know.
I don't know. I think I hope that I bet you anything they're trying to get that fucking. I agree. They're trying to get it settled before because any of that
Mm,
new stuff takes place because that could ruin everything. It could ruin everything. Because you know that guy's got more skeletons in his closet than a whole cemetery. He,
yeah.
God, yeah. Yeah, we don't want the
Well,
family brand of WWE ruined by shit videos and threesomes with Laurinaitis and who else, Gerald Briscoe or whoever, who the fuck else is in their videos.
oh
So,
gosh.
yeah.
Well, I got a feeling with all the people getting hacked, I wouldn't doubt it if we will get a naked picture or sex video from Vince.
Oh,
But
great.
I wouldn't
We already
doubt
had the
it.
whole,
But
we had a Hogan video and it was horrible. Yeah. So, and he fucking went to court on that. He had to go into court on that. It was a big, there's a documentary about that, the Hogan
yeah.
scandal. Well, yeah, I just like,
Well,
I don't know, man. We'll see how it goes.
let's go ahead and wrap this pitch up for the night.
All right.
I'm gonna promote. Do you have anything to promote or plug?
Eh, no, nothing to promote at this time, I guess. No, nothing to promote.
All right. Well, on the promotes on the videos that I did about an hour and a half or so on this game I was playing on the PS5, but you can play this on the PS4. It's called Party Hard. I played a long episode of that. Is that even
How was
showing?
that one?
Because I don't. What?
It shows the title, Party Hard.
Yeah. It's
What is that game about?
oh, it's a guy going to a party and he's a slasher. So you go around and you try to kill everyone and not get caught by a cop.
I didn't
So
know if it was like Jason Voorhees or if that was like the guy from Ninja Turtles with the
oh,
mask.
Casey
But
Jones.
yeah, I knew it kind of has a resemblance. So I don't know.
No, yeah. Like you figure you go to the party and people getting die. Like you figured the person wearing a fucking hockey mask, you figure he might be the suspect.
No, I don't. No, not at all. He's a good guy.
Not at
Who the
all.
fuck wears a
Yeah,
hockey
he's
mask?
just randomly. Well, this one I did recently is 2020 Super Baseball that I did a comparison between the Neo Geo AES, the console version, versus the Super Nintendo. Um, it was a good one. And then I have
Hmm.
a bunch of Vectrex games that I did. Um,
Oh, that
trying to
piece
see
of. Oh my God.
what
I remember this one. I remember hearing about that one. Yeah, the
this
Vectorex.
one. Yeah, Vectrex. This is the one I did a game called Spike. Spike is like a cross between Donkey Kong and Frogger, kind of. Like managing the two together, it's like that. But
Hey, do you
it's a
actually
good
have one
game.
of those consoles?
I have one now, yes.
You do? You actually have one of those?
Yeah, I have one now,
Wow.
yes.
Wow. So that's pretty
Actually,
cool. That's pretty cool.
I recorded off of it. And this one's called Clean Sweep. Clean Sweep is a Pac-Man clone. It's damn near identical to Pac-Man. So if you like Pac-Man, that would be the game for you.
Clean sweep.
I think this one's called Spinball. Not the Sonic version, but this is Spinball on Vectrex. What it is a pinball game on the Vectrex. So I mean, it's not bad.
Hmm. The
And
Vectrex.
then uh, this one, me and Filthy Mouth Gamer are going live tomorrow. You hear that?
I can hear your neighbors, yes.
I hear a cat meowing.
Yeah,
Like I can hear it very good through my headset too.
it's probably at your door. Duke's probably gonna go get it.
But yeah, me and Filthy Mouth Gamer were doing a live episode of talking about video games, and we will be taking questions from the chat, and it'll be early. I set it for 12 o'clock Central Time, but we'll probably go an hour beforehand and probably 11 o'clock Central Time. So we'll pretty much probably start off where we left off, and then we'll just keep on, just reminiscing, just talking about video games, and maybe I'll even bring up this topic about what he thinks about the future of gaming too. So, but there really wasn't much left to do tonight. There wasn't much more topics than the gaming, and even gaming. There wasn't a lot of news like wrestling. There's not a lot of news in wrestling. minus the Rock joining the bloodline, and
which kind of made sense, though. It kind of made sense
yeah,
in its own way. Yeah, it's like because you're not gonna have a freaking. Everybody's like, oh, you're gonna have The Rock versus Roman Reigns now, and no, no way in hell. He don't have the time for that, and it
well,
didn't make sense. So
well, I think it could have happened, but
yeah,
I don't see The Rock winning. I think if it was The Rock versus Roman, it'd been Roman.
yeah,
But
of course,
people want to see Cody. I want to see Cody win. So
right.
and
It's like, why would you steal that from him? It's like, what you build
I
that up and build it up and build it up, and then just you throw it to the trash? No, of course not.
yeah.
It wouldn't make
And
sense.
now
Wouldn't make sense.
The Rock is um Hollywood heel Rock again.
Yes.
So that was the best thing that was on SmackDown. It was the last part. But uh that's
Hollywood
the
heel rock.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just I expected. I was like, oh, they did. They kept to they stuck to their guns. Thank God. But yeah, but Holly, the fact that he can come back and be a heel while being the board
yeah.
of directors at TKO is amazing.
Well the thing is, I mean, you could separate the person. Like obviously he's gonna think business wise for with TKO, but like he still wants to do stuff with WWE. But the guy has so much stuff. He has his fingers in a lot of things where he not only is part of the board of TKO, um, he's doing a storyline in WWE. He's I guess he's part owner of the what is it, UFL.
Yeah, the
And
USFL. Yeah, yeah, he is right.
no, the USFL. It's the
The
merger.
UFL, the
Yeah,
merger,
UF.
right?
And
Yeah,
now, and obviously, Ho- he's in Hollywood,
movie
so
star.
he's the Ryan Seacrest of entertainment now.
He's also
So,
got a tequila brand, and he's also got his and his apparel brand. He's got
oh
there's so much shit he's got his hands in. It's nuts.
well, I mean, when you're rich and your name is worth a lot, and like I'm sure he has people like he's smart enough to listen to people in all type of business. So, I mean, it was only
Money.
I mean, honestly, the XFL merging with UFL, with the USFL was smart because you don't need three football leagues. So
Right.
if you're going to compete against the NFL, it's better just unify
He's
those
stronger.
two. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean
they had to do it.
that's how NFL was pretty made. I mean,
Was
you had the
born. It's
NFL.
exactly right. That's right. That's exactly what happened with the AFL and the NFL, and it's
Yeah,
just and so I think that's pretty interesting for him, and then
mm,
there's also all these people that are like, oh, he's at some point there. Everybody's expecting The Rock to run for president at some point in the next
uh,
20 years. Yeah,
I,
and and he's like appeared with like senators and
yeah.
shit and congressmen. And he says he's not going to do it now, but they think that he's going to still do it in the next 20 years. And I'm just like, oh my God, we're gonna have uh,
President The
President
Rock.
Rock.
So the president could have been he was a former WWF champion, and I
Anything
would
is
not
possible.
I would not
Anything's possible.
if he becomes president, I will not call him by President Dwayne Johnson. He will be President The Rock. It's kind of like
President
how
Rock.
it's kind of like how Kane is Kane of like Knoxville, Tennessee, and so I call him Mayor Kane.
Mayor Kane. It is
Yeah,
Mayor Kane.
yeah, and I can't take the credit for that. I know people made that name long before I even said that, but
Mayor
like
Kane.
I know I know Solid Monster said that Mayor Kane. Oh, dude, we got T- TSS in the chat. What's up, man? We're about to wrap up in a second.
Yeah.
But if you want TSS, if you want to hear about our video game um, talk, just start the show back over, and we talked about rest video games for about a good hour and
Yeah.
almost a half.
Yeah,
So,
I think more, and you know, this is something that you could probably revisit because there's going to be more news coming out. I think here in the next couple of months. There's so many, there's
mm,
so much going on. There's so much, it just changes everywhere, and all the
oh yeah,
deals that are happening. So yeah, it's gonna change over time. So, but it's
I'm
good talk.
waiting for Nintendo to say what they're gonna do, but
It's gonna
um,
be called the Super Switch.
the Super Switch. No, actually, my prediction of the new Switch is see, uh, I don't know if you know the successor to 3DS was called the new 3DS. The
Right.
new 3DS actually had a little bit more performance power. So,
Okay.
and there were certain games that would not play on the 3DS would play on the new 3DS. So my prediction is going to be called the new Nintendo Switch.
The new Switch.
So
The new Switch.
it's gonna cause a lot of people have the same problem, like how people didn't know what the hell Wii U was. So it's gonna be a the same problem with the Wii and Wii U problem. It'll be the new Switch problem where people don't think there's a new Switch. They'll think it's just a new variant of the Switch instead of
Right.
the upgrade version. That's my prediction. But
God, I just wish they would
it'd
have
be
done. They did.
interesting. But
It needs to be the Super Switch, or it needs to be like, you know, something, or like this, the Switch Pro, or the Switch, or it could be, you know, the Switch, the Super Switch Pro. There you go, the Super Switch Pro. That's a,
see, I
or
don't
it
think
could
they'll
be,
call it.
I don't know.
I think they probably most likely it's either what I'm calling it or you calling it. I don't see them calling it Pro because people think about Pro with PlayStation 4 because they call it the
Mm,
PlayStation 4 Pro.
right.
So I think it's either way. It's either the Super Switch or it's going to be what I call it the new Nintendo Switch. That's my prediction.
The the new Nintendo Switch U. Uh, yes,
You, yeah. Well, that's a good point from
that's
TSS. As
true.
long as Nintendo is very clear in their marketing that it's a new console, they will be fine. Because the thing is, people fought for the whole generation. They thought the Wii U was just a tablet. They thought the Wii U was just a tablet add-on to the Wii.
Right.
But like it had a whole like the Wii stopped making games minus a couple crap Wii games that came out like crap like now dance whatever they call that. So and they were making Wii U games instead. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
TSS brings up a great point. Like, but Nintendo, I think they learned their lesson to
I hope so.
market
Hope it is.
this. Yeah,
We will find out.
but
But I think
yeah,
I agree. It's like we got to know if there is going to be one first. We need to know for certain, like, what is it going to be? What is, you know, at least go ahead and get an announcement, get some type of preview, something. What's the
oh,
new Switch? What is it going to be?
see TSS. Ooh, well, he's saying his prediction that they'll either call it the Super Switch, Switch 2, or the Switch Advance. The
Switch
goddamn
Advance.
cat's
Ooh.
meowing right outside my fucking door. I'm about to release
You get
Dukas to go kill it.
released, Lucas.
Yeah, but I'm shocked Dukas is not going over there and bother to like barking at it. But Nintendo never called anything as a console 2. They
Yeah,
called they never did that. The only console ever numbered their systems was Sony.
right.
Even Xbox. I mean they did it weird. They
They did. They did.
they did the 360 and then they had the Xbox One. And I can understand even though it's a bad name, Xbox One, even though it was your third
After the
console.
three.
But I can
Yeah,
understand it was their version of the all in one. So I can understand that. But like, I mean, people were making the joke as Microsoft can't count because they had the Windows where they went from Windows 8 to 10 and skipped 9. And then they can't, like, uh,
they went from the
they already
360 to
had,
the one.
yeah, to the one. But
Yeah, I think that's it's likely they're not going to call it Switch 2. Of course, they wouldn't do
then again, that's probably when they'll actually call it the Switch 2.
that. Or hopefully they don't go Switch X or Switch some
Ooh,
stupid
you know what?
thing like that. Switch
I
X.
uh, I think I agree with TSS with this as well. I do think they'll have a presentation or a direct very soon, and they'll have it out a year later, or I think it's either later this year or early next year. That's what I think. But
Probably. Yeah. They'll probably announce it and then they'll put it out early next year. That's what I think.
mm,
They'll
because
announce it this year.
I was right. Here's the thing. A few years ago, I told the Rose when we were doing when I was on Derailed and I was doing a side thing with the Rose on his channel, and I told him if we didn't get a Switch Pro in the next year, it's not happening because then you don't want to put out a Switch Pro and then like the next year they put out the next console
Right.
because those people are going to feel gypped who got
They're
the
gonna
Pro.
be right.
So like, and there's reports, we know there's a new Switch coming out. We just don't know when. But
Right. It's gonna happen. It's gonna
well,
happen.
I'm gonna cut it here because I don't want to lose my voice completely for tomorrow. So I'm gonna bring this back up where uh it'll be me and Filthy Mouth Gamer going early tomorrow. Let me remove that comment from TSS. Um I took what's cool, I took his background and my background and I mixed it because I found it'd be kind of cool, like um, how me and like when we're on live on here, I'm always on the left side of the screen. My guest
Right.
is usually on the right side of the screen, so I figure we put him where, and then I put my logo on my side. I put his logo on his side, so I think it'd be awesome. So I just want to I just can't wait to do it that tomorrow. But this is what TSS says. Just wait until Sony does this year with the PS5 Pro, and then eh, it's possible. I see that possible. I mean, they done it last year, so why? I mean, last gen, so why not? But as for Brad, I am Casey is Raw. I appreciate you guys coming by. The Rose was supposed to come by, but I guess he was not going to make it. So, like I said, I want to keep my voice for tomorrow, and I want to go get some sleep in. So,
Get
unless
a
you got
get a
anything,
glass of water too, there, Casey.
I sound like this anyways. Like, and maybe I need water and salt. I mean,
Something.
my throat doesn't hurt, and
You, Casey, you sound like one of those people you meet in the casino that has been smoking too
yeah,
long. You know.
yeah, yeah. That's a good point. Well,
All right.
unless you haven't,
Have a good one.
all right. I appreciate you coming on short notice.
Hey, no worries, man.
All
Anytime.
right, all right. I'll talk to you later, bro. All right, for Brad, I am Casey Israel, and this was Saturday Israel. And hopefully, you guys come by and watch us tomorrow. So, you guys have a good night, and I am Alski.